Get yourself ready for this massive Xbox download. Let's discuss. What's up guys, and welcome to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that is all about Xbox. If you're watching for the first time, whether you're an old Xbox fan or you just picked an Xbox up and you're new to the fandom, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Also, pretty much anything physical I talk about on this channel, I have links for you to buy any of that stuff for yourself. I'm going to be talking about a few accessories today in this video, so if you're looking at that stuff, you're hearing me talk about it, you're like, dang, that's kind of cool, that's kind of useful. I want one of those for myself. Use the links to buy them. It goes a long way in helping out the channel, and you have my forever gratitude. I'm also on Instagram. I'm at State of Ray there if you want to give me a follow. But enough about that stuff. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Xbox has confirmed that it's going to be on the floor at Gamescom this year. I'm sorry, I should say Xbox and Bethesda. It takes a little bit of getting used to seeing Bethesda like alongside the Xbox name. Yes, they're technically Xbox first party, but it seems that they have equal billing with the Xbox name. It's the Xbox Bethesda Showcase. Xbox Bethesda is going to be on the floor at Gamescom. The official Gamescom account tweeted this: breaking, Xbox and Bethesda will join us on the show floor for hashtag Gamescom 2023. More details soon. And that was followed up by a retweet by Aaron Greenberg saying, excited to be heading back to at Gamescom this year to see so many faces familiar and new. Our teams have been working hard on our show floor presence and more. This will be a special year, looking forward to sharing even more details soon. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, Gamescom is a convention held in Cologne, Germany. I've personally never been because, well, that's really far from where I'm at. I've never even been to Europe. They've showed off some cool stuff at the show in the past. Last year, they showed off new gameplay for the Callisto Protocol and Hogwarts Legacy. Xbox's participation in Gamescom is usually up and down. A couple of years ago, they did some cool stuff, but last year it was just like a 24-hour live stream and nothing really happened. So it begs the question, what are they going to show? What have they been hard at work on? What is Aaron Greenberg talking about in this tweet? Gamescom is set to take place at the end of August. It's going to start on August 23rd. And if you're an Xbox fan, if you're watching this channel, you probably know what's around the corner at the end of August. Starfield. Starfield is going to be launching September 6th. So anything that Xbox is going to be doing at Gamescom, and especially because Bethesda is also going to be there, I would probably assume that it's going to involve Starfield in some way. This is the last big show opportunity that they have in order to generate any sort of hype leading into the game's launch. Now, what they will do in order to generate that hype, again, that remains up in the air. They've already showed us 45 minutes of gameplay at Starfield Direct. They've already launched the Starfield controller, the headset, and the Seagate hard drive. So what else can they do? What else can they show us? What other products could they release that would generate some hype for this latest Bethesda RPG? Usually I would say, what if they release like a Starfield console or something like that? But they've been going crazy with the special edition Xboxes lately, with the Porsche Xbox, with the Barbie Dreamhouse Xbox. I would say it's fairly unlikely we're going to see any new accessories or hardware related to Starfield. We could possibly be getting another gameplay look. Maybe they'll give us a deeper dive into the different factions that are in the game. We've seen glimpses of these groups in the game, like the Constellation Group, the Freestar Collective, but maybe they can show us more of like the Crimson Fleet. We know that there's a whole faction that revolves around worshipping a giant space snake. Or maybe they could even drop like a little demo for everyone to play at home. Again, this is all spitballing here, so take it with a grain of salt. But whatever they do at Gamescom, I imagine that Starfield is going to be key throughout those couple of days. But the fact that Aaron Greenberg is kind of hyping it up, oh, we've been working hard, oh, this is going to be a special year. Usually, this is the guy that it's like a running joke in the community that says, oh, guys, keep your expectations in check. But for the showcase and for Gamescom, he's like, no, we got some cool stuff to show you, y'all. So hopefully something interesting comes our way at the end of August. Thanks to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video. Back in February, I was involved in a car accident that not only resulted in the total loss of my vehicle, but resulted in some partial hearing loss in my left ear. Back then, I really could have used someone like Morgan & Morgan to make a bodily injury claim. So if you're out there, you're injured due to an accident, and you don't know where to start, Morgan & Morgan makes it super easy. With Morgan & Morgan, you can submit an injury claim without ever having to leave your couch. And of course, submitting an injury claim after an accident, that's a no-brainer, but it can be a daunting process if you've never done it before. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm, and their whole goal is making this process as easy as possible for you. With Morgan & Morgan, there's no need to visit any law offices or contact lawyers on your own. All you have to do is submit your claim, and Morgan & Morgan will review it for you. Take action to protect your rights, and Morgan & Morgan will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. If you want to check it out for yourself, you can use the link down in the description, again, to file a claim in less than 8 clicks. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/XboxReady. Thanks again to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video. Even though we have a pretty decent idea of what Starfield is going to be like, there's still a lot that fans want to know. And just the other day, we got a key bit of information regarding Starfield: its storage size. It was confirmed that the Xbox version of this game is going to take up 125 gigs of storage on your console, which in terms of modern games, especially for an open world game, for an RPG, that's not that crazy, right? But it's still a pretty good chunk of space on your console. For comparison, Skyrim is about 29 gigs, Fallout 4 sitting at about 51 gigs, so that's pretty significant. That's a pretty big jump. Starfield is over twice the size in terms of storage space required compared to the last RPG that they put out. And especially if you're planning to play this game on a white Series S, the Series S that has 512 gigabytes of storage, that's gonna take up a lot of space. You gotta prepare for that, you gotta be ready, man. Because yes, even though the Series S, the white one, has 512 gigs advertised, you can really only use like 380 something gigs for games. So yeah, Starfield is gonna take up nearly a third of your game storage on your Series S, if you're planning on playing there. Again, this is not surprising because most modern games, most big AAA games, they take up a lot of storage. Like any Call of Duty game is going to take up a bunch of space. And Starfield's download size is still smaller than games like Jedi Fallen Order and Ark Survival Evolved. That thing took up so much space on my hard drive before I finally switched to PC. I think people made the discovery not too long ago that a lot of the stuff that's packed into these downloads is just uncompressed sound. And when I asked my friend, hey, what's up with that? Like, why are these sound files taking up so much spaces in these games? And he said, hey, you want your games to sound good? I was like, whoa, man, okay, chill out. Long story short, it's gonna take up a lot of space, and a lot of you may be out there worried right now. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to delete so many games. I'm running out of storage. I'm like packed full with all this other stuff, and I don't want to say goodbye to these games. Well, as a reminder, console owners do have a couple of options now when it comes to expanding their storage. For the longest time, the only way you can expand your console's SSD was with this expandable Seagate storage card. They had a proprietary deal with Xbox, meaning they were the only game in town, meaning they could charge whatever they want. But recently, Western Digital got into the game as well, and they were like, yo, we got expandable cards too. They came out with a 1TB one for $150, and there's also a 0.5 terabyte one, a 512 gig one for about like $80, $90. Right now it's on sale for $80 on select retailers. And in turn, coincidentally, Seagate lowered the price of their 1TB card as well. It used to be $220, and now it's been $150 for weeks, ever since the launch of this Western Digital card. I could see either of these cards being especially helpful to Series S owners out there. I bought my Series S for $240 during the holidays, so even if I got this $80, $90 Western Digital card, it would still be cheaper than even the black Series S that has a full terabyte of storage coming out. It is nice seeing multiple options when it comes to SSD cards for your console. It's not perfect yet. Yes, you can get like way cheaper ones for your PlayStation 5 and for your PC, of course. But they're taking baby steps, guys, baby steps. Maybe by this time next year, there's gonna be someone else making expandable cards. I'm personally hoping that these cards get discounted for Prime Day in some way. As a reminder, Amazon Prime Day is July 11th. So if you're out there and you're like me, you have a Prime membership, keep your eye out, maybe something will pop up, maybe not. If you're out there and you're like, no, I don't wanna buy one of these SSD cards, I don't want to. Obviously, you can hook up an external drive, just a hard drive to your console. You can store all sorts of Xbox games on there. The only caveat is that you can't play Series X and S games straight off the hard drive like you can with these SSD cards. But I personally get a lot of use out of mine. I store all of my old games on there, my copy of Red Dead Redemption, which again is also huge, but they never made a Series X and S version, so I get to store it and play it directly off of that drive. I have my copies of Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor on there. I even store Series X and S games on there and move them back and forth to my console whenever I want to play them. And as a reminder, they do have a special edition 5 terabyte hard drive that is Starfield themed. It has like the Constellation logo on it, and it is compatible with Xbox Series X and S consoles, but Once again, you cannot play games directly off the console. You have to move it back and forth. So if you download Starfield, put it on that bad boy, you're gonna have to move it to your Xbox before you can play it. While we're talking about Xbox accessories, I have good news for all of my Series S owners out there. The X screen is now officially available on Amazon, and it's getting a little bit of a discount. For those of you who don't know, the X screen is basically just this TV screen that you attach to your Series S, and it makes it a lot more portable. You still have to have the console plugged in. It doesn't have its own power source, but it's a great way to take your Series S on the go if you're traveling. I saw a guy in Starbucks with one playing on it the other day, and when I went up to him, I was like, yo, that X screen is cool. He thought I was someone else entirely. At first, I was like, oh, this guy must recognize me from the channel, but he was like, oh, have you been, man? What's going on? They don't let you play anymore over there? Oh, remember that Polish guy? He always asks about you. Oh, I gotta tell him that I saw Elliot at Starbucks, man. What's been going on? I'm like, oh gosh, no, I thought this guy recognized me from Xbox Ready, but he thinks I'm his long-lost friend, Elliot. Anyway, that guy had an X screen, and I gotta say, it's been cool seeing them out in the wild. The X screen is made by these guys, and I believe in Australia, called Upspec Gaming. And before this, you had to order it directly from them. But now you can also order it through Amazon. And again, if you are like me and you have a Prime membership, you can take advantage of all the perks that come along with it. We covered the X screen a long time ago when this first came out on the channel, and I gotta say, I was pretty impressed. So the way it works is that it attaches directly into your Xbox Series S. All you need is a power cable in order to play both the game and get visual. The display supports 1080p resolution and a 60Hz refresh rate. And I gotta say, visually, I was pretty impressed with this thing. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not the best, but it looks pretty dang good. It has a built-in sound system, which was a lot better than I expected it to be. Of course, if you're homeboy playing in Starbucks, you might want to have some headphones in, but, you know, if you're in a hotel room or maybe you're visiting your parents for the holidays, it is definitely serviceable. It also comes with a carrying case as well, and I just think they did a great job matching the design of the Series S. It goes very well aesthetically together. I wasn't sure how popular this thing was going to be when it launched. I was like, it's a very specific accessory. It's pretty niche, and you got to order it from all the way in Australia. I don't know how many of these things I'm going to be seeing out in the wild. I even saw on Twitter that Phil Spencer has one that he uses when he travels, so I'm glad that it's taken off because I think it's a really cool accessory and it shows the versatility of the Xbox Series S. Next up, we gotta talk about this latest addition to Game Pass. Grand Theft Auto 5 is making its way back to the service. It should be on there by the time you're watching this video. And I know that you guys are probably rolling your eyes at this point. This game has been around forever. This game literally came out on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. But about a year ago, they released the next-gen version of this game. So if anyone out there with a Series X or S wants to play this upscaled version of Grand Theft Auto 5, you can do so with your Game Pass subscription. This is about the third time we've seen Grand Theft Auto 5 on Game Pass. It was added in 2020 and then taken off before Red Dead Redemption was put on, and then it was removed and then put back on in 2021, and then it was taken off and has been absent ever since today. Is Grand Theft Auto enough to assuage people, calm people in the wake of the Game Pass price increase? Keep in mind the price increase for Game Pass has taken effect in pretty much every Xbox region except for the US and a few other countries. And to be honest, guys, I'm really curious to see how customers respond. Are we gonna see a huge drop off of subscriptions, or people are gonna be canceling them? Like, dude, there are a few other games coming out in July for Game Pass, obviously, like Exo Primal, there's DLC for Wolong Fallen Dynasty. But is any of that stuff enough to keep customers around, enough to justify the price increase? I guess we'll see. Maybe in a couple of months, it'll be like, whoa, Game Pass subscribers, we saw a huge spike after the increase, or after Starfield is added. Or it could go the other way. Ooh, we saw a lot of people cancel their subscriptions. But then again, Xbox doesn't really release numbers when it comes to Game Pass or console sales. So I guess we'll just have to wait around for another FTC Activision Blizzard document leak in order to find out whether or not this was a good move. Anyways, guys, that's all the news I have for today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready, and I'll see you in the next video.